Have you ever noticed how tech seems to move so fast? New breakthroughs popping up all over. AI here, energy stuff there. It often feels kind of disconnected. But what if there's actually a hidden force? A sort of thread tying it all together. A way to understand the bigger picture. Today, we're really digging into this fascinating idea. It basically argues that all these tech disruptions, they're deeply interconnected. They feed off each other.
Exactly. We're looking at insights from Kartik, specifically his interconnected video. He calls it his atom thesis, though now it's rebranded as Third Millennium Economics. It's this whole framework for seeing how seemingly random innovations actually link up. Pretty unique lens, actually.
Right. And our mission today, we want to unpack why these things are intertwined and maybe give you that aha moment. Help you see how the modern economy really ticks, according to Kartik. Okay, so let's get into it. What's the absolute core of Kartik's idea here?
The main assertion is just that. All technological disruptions are connected, period. Now, he does say the strength of the connection varies, how close the technologies are, but the link, it's always there, always having some effect.
It sounds pretty sweeping. Does he give examples?
Oh, yeah. And they seem worlds apart at first, like advances in AI chips versus getting better at hydraulic fracking, or think about AI making images versus solar panels getting more efficient. Totally different fields, right?
Seems like it.
But Kartik's point is they're all swimming in the same economic pool. They influence each other subtly, maybe, but definitely.
And he uses this pipe metaphor, doesn't he? The high-tech pipe.
That's right. He pictures all these innovations flowing through this measurable slice of the global economy that's fundamentally high-tech. Back when he made the video, he estimated it was about 3% of the world economy. Now he thinks it's pushing 4%.
Only 4%. Doesn't sound like much.
Well, that's the thing. He argues it's like the economy's nervous system. Small, maybe, but it controls or influences way, way more. It's the dynamic part.
Okay, so how does this connection actually work? What's the engine driving it?
Fundamentally, it's about cost reduction. Technology lets us do something we were already doing, but way cheaper or much more efficiently. And when that cost plummets or efficiency skyrockets, you don't just do a little more of that thing, you do a lot more. It just explodes in volume because it's suddenly feasible.
Ah, right. So it's not just about cooler gadgets.
Not at all.
This is how technology actually lifts living standards, creates wealth, through new businesses, products, entrepreneurship. It's the quiet force behind progress.
Precisely.
Okay, let's make this really concrete. You mentioned fracking earlier.
Yeah.
How does that illustrate this whole interconnected idea? It seems so specific to energy.
It's a perfect example, actually. So around 2014, thanks to hydraulic fracturing, the U.S. boosted its oil supply by, 35%? A huge jump domestically.
Okay.
Now, globally, that translated to maybe a 3% increase in the world's oil supply. Just 3%.
Which, again, sounds tiny on a global scale.
Tiny, right. But get this. That 3% bump was enough to cause crude oil prices, WTI and Brent, to basically fall by half.
Half. Seriously. From just 3% more supply.
Yep. It shows you how sensitive oil prices can be. That elasticity is key.
So, cheaper oil. How does that ripple out, according to Kartik's theory?
Well, think about it. Oil is a fundamental input cost for almost everything. Suddenly, it's way cheaper. That helps, pretty much every business. Low-tech stuff like, trucking goods to stores using diesel, but also high-tech ventures that need energy or transportation somewhere in their chain. Everyone's cost just dropped.
Okay, I think I see it. Could you give a more specific example, like how it enables something new?
Sure. Kartik uses this example. Imagine you want to start an autonomous delivery fleet, flying drones maybe. Let's say fuel, oil costs, or 10% of your projected business expenses. That's a big chunk.
Right.
Now, oil prices half. Your fuel cost drops to 5% of your total costs. That shift, that 5% difference, might be enough to take your business from bleeding money, totally uninvestable,
to actually being profitable, or at least viable enough to get funding.
Exactly. Suddenly, investors are interested. What was just an idea on paper can become a real business. It crosses that viability threshold. All because some other seemingly unrelated technology made an input cheaper.
That really highlights something else, doesn't it? How bad we often are at predicting tech's impact, because we forget costs will plummet.
Totally. We look at today's tech, today's prices, and just can't imagine it scaled up or cheapened down. Kartik loves bringing up those classic examples, like the IBM chairman back in '39.
Oh, the world market for maybe 5 computers.
That's the one. He was picturing massive room-sized things like ENIAC couldn't fathom a PC on every desk, let alone a phone in every pocket.
And Bill Gates too, right? The 640K RAM comment.
Yeah, famously. Nobody will ever need more than 640 kilobytes of RAM. And now, a standard desktop might have 64 gigs. It's, over 100,000 times more. The scale is just mind-boggling.
So Kartik's core point there is, as inputs get cheaper, things become possible that nobody could even dream of before.
Because the basic math changes, the profit and loss equation flips.
Yeah.
What was ludicrously expensive becomes doable.
Okay, let's bring this right up to date. Artificial intelligence. Huge buzz right now. How does AI fit this cost reduction model? How can it make a losing business suddenly win?
Kartik uses a really clear chart sometimes to show this. Picture a business idea. It makes, say, $3 million a year in revenue. Good start.
Okay.
But its costs, maybe mostly payroll, office space, whatever, are $4 million. So it's losing $1 million a year.
Not good. Unfundable, basically.
Right. Dead in the water.
Yeah.
Now, same business idea, same $3 million revenue. But you bring in AI, you use it smartly to automate tasks, maybe you need fewer people, you operate more efficiently. Your costs drop to, let's say, $2 million.
Ah. So now you're making $1 million in profit.
Exactly. Same
Yeah.
top line, totally different bottom line. Suddenly, it's viable, it's attractive, it gets funded, grows, creates jobs, all enabled by AI reducing those input costs.
And you're saying this isn't just a theory, it's how progress has always happened.
For centuries, yeah. Technology lowers costs, creates new possibilities.
Just that now it feels like it's happening much faster.
Way faster. And it's creating professions we couldn't have imagined. Social media influencers, AI artists, game animators. These jobs exist purely because the tech made them economically possible.
Okay, another big recent shift, work from home. Sped up massively by the pandemic. How does that fit Kartik's interconnectedness idea?
It's a fascinating case study. People forget back in 2000, futurists like Kurzweil and Gilder were already predicting this. They said video conferencing would get super cheap and lots of desk jobs would go remote by 2020.
But it didn't really happen on a large scale by 2019, did it?
No, not really. The tech was mostly there, but office culture was, sticky. People felt they had to be physically present.
And then the pandemic basically forced everyone's hand.
Exactly. Necessity just shoved aside that cultural resistance, and suddenly millions were working from home, and for many businesses, it worked.
And the numbers now are still huge, right?
They are. Post-pandemic, you've still got over half of all office workers, and maybe 65–70% in tech, which is a key wealth-generating sector working from home at least some of the time.
Which means
Yeah.
empty offices.
A lot of them. Office occupancy dropped by around 50%, so advanced economies basically have twice the office space they currently need.
That sounds terrible for commercial real estate owners.
It is. Definitely bad for them. But Kartik frames this as a huge benefit for everyone else. He calls it technological deflation.
How so?
Think about a startup, let's say 20 people. Before, they'd sink a huge chunk of their investment money into rent, utilities, office maintenance.
Right, just basic overhead.
Now,
Yeah.
they might ditch the office entirely or get a much smaller space. That money they save, it doesn't just disappear, they can redeploy it, hire another engineer, spend more on marketing, do actual value-added stuff. It's like a massive injection of efficiency and freed up capital across the economy.
So work from home tech, by slashing input costs, office costs in this case, actually fuels more innovation elsewhere. It feeds back into that web Kartik talks about.
Precisely. It frees up resources, allowing the next wave of tech development. It reinforces the whole interconnected system.
Now, Kartik himself,
Mm-hmm.
he seems to think this whole framework, this interconnected view, is pretty significant, maybe even groundbreaking.
Oh, he's quite direct about it. He says, and I'm quoting loosely here, that this is a major economics insight that is never going to arise from the economics establishment.
So he thinks traditional economics is missing this.
That's his view, yeah. He feels it's a perspective they just won't arrive at from within their standard models. He even goes further. He asserts, again, sort of paraphrasing, that people have won the Nobel Prize in economics for far, far less impactful insights than this.
Wow. That's bold.
It is. He also adds he doubts he'll get that kind of recognition in his lifetime. But it definitely shows his conviction. He really believes he's identified something fundamental and, importantly, original in how he's pieced it all together.
It certainly makes you think about how new ideas, especially ones that cross disciplines like tech and economics, get recognized or sometimes overlooked.
Yeah. Definitely food for thought.
And for listeners who want to really dive deep into his specific arguments, he lays this out in more detail in his Atom publication, right? Now called Third Millennium Economics.
That's right. Particularly chapters 2, 3, and 4 go into the nitty-gritty of this thesis.
Okay, so let's recap. We've walked through Karthik's core idea: fracking, AI, remote work. All these tech disruptions, they're linked. They reinforce each other. And the main way they do this, by driving down costs, making things cheaper, more efficient. And that opens up totally new possibilities, new businesses, things we couldn't do before.
And connecting that to the bigger picture, this framework really pushes you to look past the individual shiny new tech and encourages you to see the subtle currents underneath, these powerful forces linking everything, reshaping the economy, creating what's next. It's a holistic perspective that Karthik really claims as his own unique contribution.
So here's something for you to chew on this week. Think about your own world, your industry, maybe even just your daily life. Can you spot a small cost reduction somewhere? Something getting cheaper or easier thanks to tech? Now, put on Karthik's glasses for a second. Could that seemingly minor shift unlock something huge down the line? A new business, a whole new way of doing things. Keep an eye out for those hidden connections. According to Karthik, they're everywhere, and they're shaping our future. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive today. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and definitely keep connecting those dots.